Oh man, so this is why it's always good to have friends with Haas CNC machines. Finally addressing an issue that I should have been addressed on the DucatiGrom swap, but the oil pan. Let me just show you this. Yeah, that's not good. But this sump on this engine hung down so low. I don't even know how I haven't cracked it yet, but it was getting close. Look at that. I only got like half a bolt left, but I was playing it a little crazy. With my weight on the bike, if I go over speed bumps, this thing was definitely smacking. Like, I had so many cringe moments on this bike when I would forget to like lift my butt up the seat and it would just scrape this oil pan. So this is finally getting remediated. You can see on these pans how they taper really crazy. So my goal with this is to basically try to get as much as this sump off as I can, or try to eliminate as much as I can, and the pan will be widened out. It'll essentially be wider and deeper on the sides, so that way I can get close to, or if not the same volume that it currently holds right now. So I'm gonna get this pulled off. I'm gonna get it to my friend. He's gonna scan it, and then we're gonna work out a billet solution for it, because you guys know how I love the billet. So let me get this pulled off and then pretty much go from there. Got the wheels and the exhaust all ready for powder coat. If you guys don't know, these pieces, they will be Cerakoted burnt bronze. The exact Cerakote number is C148, and this is the color right here. But yeah, this should look pretty sweet. I do plan on getting red titanium hardware for the wheels. You can see how many fasteners the wheel has. So yeah, I'll be getting those from Z-Spec Design. But yeah, it should look pretty sweet with the color mashup that I got going on with this. So I can't wait to see, you know, once everything is nicely coated and just, you know, have a little razzle dazzle on it. So it should look good though. So let me get this over to the powder coater and go from there. All right guys, so I got the frame mocked up with the plastics on, got the tank on, and I'm actually using some makeshift all thread and a couple of aluminum spacers to bow the plastics. I think I might have to run to the store to get a few more, but I'm still playing with it. You can see it's off a little bit. This side is a little bit more inward than this side, so I think I gotta push this one out a little bit more. But as I've said before, the reasoning behind this is because I plan on putting 2 radiators up here in conjunction with keeping my single 300 CBR radiator. So altogether there'll be 3 radiators, 1 horizontal and then 2 vertical at a slight, like a 45-degree angle or something in that neighborhood. Haven't decided on what cores I'm picking up yet, so that's the reason why I kind of have this mocked up, just to take a few measurements for how much real estate that I'm working with. One thing that I do see right off the bat that would help me in the real estate department is relocating these coils. These are LS3 coils. I pretty much use all of these on my build. They work really good with the Fuel Tech system. Shameless plug, I know. Don't crucify me though. But one thing that I'm going to do is cut these studs off. That's kind of what I use to mount these up, you know, up front on the frame. But I mean, I could easily relocate these to a different position. It's not that big of a deal. So I'm gonna get these cut off, get everything ground smooth, and then start taking some measurements. But I think that should be a good amount of space, using this side for reference, because there's still a bunch of stuff that I haven't done yet. You can see like this tank right here, this whole bottom piece is getting cut out because technically I only need it for this front mount right here. But if you look under here, it's nothing there anyways. So I'm gonna just finish cutting that out the rest of the way and call it a day, and I should have even more space up here. I did take some tabs off of the inner plastics because these are just mock-up plastics. I got a whole new plastic kit coming, a bunch of titanium, a bunch of carbon, so that should definitely look nice on the bike, especially with the color combo that I'm doing. And I also took it upon myself to take out these inserts right here, because it only makes sense for the radiators. If they're in this location right here, I mean, that's just like free airflow right there. So I did order, where did I put it? I think I left it in the house, but you can see I ordered a sample to play with off of Amazon, and this is basically like netted like mesh screen. So I mean, take this with a grain of salt. I just cut out a small little portion to see how I would like it. They do have a couple of different options which I might entertain, but at the same time, you know, I mean, I kind of like this one, but that's kind of what the goal is. I'm gonna mount something back here. I'm not just gonna leave it open like this. So, but I gotta really make sure to make everything look nice behind here. I am getting everything powder coated, but everything will kind of be exposed now somewhat. But you know, it's all for the better. You know, it's a process for sure. I gotta temporarily plastic weld this because I accidentally broke it earlier. But it's coming along. Just got these in from Amazon. I gotta put a vent fitting on the top of this tank, like in this area right here, for my rear tank to vent, because I had a really ghetto setup last year for venting, and I finally get to address it now. So I'm happy about that. But this is a steel 6AN weldable bung. I'm gonna get this done tomorrow in the morning. So I had a time with the angle grinder. I'm reacquainted with this thing again. I feel like I'm back in my prime days. But anyway, got quite a bit of progress done. Got the tank all weight reduced. See, I took out a good bit on the sides, and now if I pan over, you can see that's what I got in the front right there. So what I will end up doing is putting a piece of steel rod, and I'll basically put like a triangulated support just to give it some, you know, some rigidity up here. I mean, because I think it'll hold, but it's just, you know, it's just better to have an extra support just to stiffen things up, add some rigidity. So that's not too bad. I got the studs all cut off the sides for the pre-existing coil mounts. I will end up smoothing these a bit more, but I'm just, you know, just trying to get a rough draft of everything. But oddly enough, I got quite a bit of room in here. Now you can see, I want to say I got like 4.5 to 5 inches all the way back from frame to inner side panel. I almost feel like the radiators will end up looking more like vertically mounted transcoolers, because this is quite a bit of depth, and this is like all free space right here. So taking out that piece of tank that was just kind of there aesthetically, it opened things up a little bit. But yeah, it's you can kind of see I got to tweak the panels a little bit more, but based off of my makeshift spacers, I'm right about like at 50 millimeters that I'll be bowing these outward. And these are not staying like this. I'm actually going to do it the right way. Go to my local metal mart, chop this steel rod off, and actually run the steel rod out here. So it's like a nice, you know, nice rigid mounting surface. So those are just more so just as a makeshift to see how far I can stretch it without actually damaging the plastics. But yeah, it's coming together. This is just tedious work. Can't wait to see this stuff all, you know, all powder coated and stuff. But yeah, it's coming together. Get another shot of that right there. All right, so it's a little crappy outside, so I had to pull everything in the house, but got quite a few things in. Got my new billets, Ducati coolant crossover setup. You can see this bottom one is billet, and then this is like welded aluminum up top. This is for the coolant ports, inlet and outlet on the 1199 engine. I got a set of dash 16 fittings from Amazon because these will actually be welded, one there and then one here. This is something that I've been wanting to do for a while. On my last radiator setup, which was kind of more so of a band-aid thing just to get the bike out and running, I had to run, what was it, like 2-8 fittings per radiator, and then I ran them back to 4 ports, 2 on the inlet and then 2 on the outlet. This is actually the stock piece right here, which is a piece of crap. You can see this thing was leaking like a sieve. So the people that have commented in my past videos about the coolant leak, I think I know where it was coming from. And this seems to be a pretty common issue on the 1199s. This housing basically micro cracks, and it won't leak when it's cold, but once it's warm and everything thermally expands, that's when you get the leak. And you can kind of see this thing was just kind of pissing coolant. So this will be a nice little upgrade. I'll have those 2-16 fittings welded straight to here, because the radiator setup that I'm going with this time, it'll be a lot more simplistic. I only want to use a single inlet and a single outlet port. So I will be keeping the 300 radiator up front because I'm kind of limited on what I could do vertically because of tire clearance. So the thing that I will be modifying on this radiator, though, is you can kind of see I got quite a bit of space around the plastics that's kind of unallocated. So I will be cutting these end tanks off, and I think I'll be extending the end tanks off or outward to match this contour right here, just to get a lot more water volume in the system. So it can only help. And then inside the fairings, I'll be putting 2 similarly sized radiators, one here and one here. I got to still figure out the size on those. I haven't nailed it down yet, but I think like somewhere in the 9-inch by 4.5 to 5-inch territory. So I gotta iron that out this week. I got my new plastics in. As you guys know, the bike is called Panda, so you can kind of assume what colors I'm going with. But this is the pearl white. I kind of ordered these plastics on a whim off Amazon. But you can see these are actually genuine Honda numbers. And then I did make sure that this stuff wasn't just put in genuine Honda bags, but was like, you know, cheaper plastics. Because they actually have a Honda molded on the plastic. So this is a OEM genuine Honda plastic kit. Got it for a pretty good deal. This is probably the cheapest that I've found these plastics out of anywhere else. I paid like less than $300 for everything. You can see I got the new white, pearl white side plastics. I got the black front fender, which I probably won't be using. I'll tell you why in a second. Got the new headlight cover. I'm getting the front piece for this Monday because I missed my UPS order the other day, unfortunately. But the reason I'm not running the white, the black front fender, the black front headlight fairing, and then the 2 little plastic triangle pieces that go on the side, is because I'm actually getting those in carbon, like actual true carbon. I ordered it from a company in Canada called Moto Composites, if I'm not mistaken, but they make those in a glossy twill 100% carbon fiber. I think that would actually be pretty cool in my case because, as you guys know, I had to hack pieces off of the stock triangle piece that's in this area because the Ducati 1199 rear cylinder, the exhaust actually exits in this location, and it was melting that plastic. So as far as I'm aware, carbon holds up a lot better to heat versus plastic, obviously. So I'm kind of curious to see what the combination of me doing the Cerakote on the exhaust and also lining the inside of that plastic with some pretty heavy heat tape. I wonder if I could just get away with not having to cut it and trim it while still being pretty close to the exhaust, because I do want it to have somewhat of an OEM appearance. So we'll have to see on that. So I'll have those Monday, and yeah, hopefully get everything mocked up. I was hoping to do it in this video, but I won't have them in time. I got my actual fuel level sensor. Got the tank all modified for that. So this is a thread end piece. You can see I got a bung right here. I know it's overly big, but this is actually a vertical float mount style. So you can see this. I think it's a magnet in this piece right here. That's how it reads it. But it's a just a generic fuel float sensor. But this should work pretty good, pretty easy to set up. So can't wait to get that in. Let's see what else. I ordered a DME chain guard, which looks a lot better than, what did I do with the other one? Yeah, I think I might have left it outside, but it looks a lot better than the Evil Swingarm one to me. So getting that in, that'll expose all of that nice hardware I'll have in the rear of the bike, but yeah, it's like all nice billet and titanium hardware in the rear with that nice burnt bronze powder coated rim. So yeah, that should look pretty sweet. Also, guys, in my last video, I mentioned that I was upgrading the last weak point of the chassis side of things on the bike, and that is the swing arm pivot. So originally, in my last video, I had explained to you guys that I was getting these new bearings, which I got. So the stock, or I don't want to say stock, but the Evil Swingarm using Grom dimensions, they use these two needle bearings right here, which you can see they aren't in the package. I pressed them out. These are a 24 millimeter OD, 17 millimeter ID, and then they use these 17 millimeter OD sleeves, and that houses a 12 millimeter bolt. So going to these new bearings, these are a 26 millimeter OD with a 20 millimeter ID. So I would essentially have to bore this bearing bore out 2 millimeters to fit the larger bearing, which will house a 20 millimeter OD sleeve, and that 20 millimeter OD sleeve would have a ID of 15 millimeter, which in turn allows me to run a 15 millimeter shaft. The problem with that is when I ordered the bearings, I ordered the sleeves with it too, but it didn't dawn on me that the sleeves, I was thinking that this was the same length of the bearing, but these are actually longer than the bearing. The bearings themselves with this two bearing configuration is 30.5 millimeter. So I upgraded to a single bearing. This had a higher dynamic and static load rating, much higher. And then it also added simplicity by just running one bearing that would take up the same amount of space as the two bearings anyways. So this sleeve right here is actually 45 millimeters. So it's like 15 millimeters longer than the bearing itself. Problem is I wasn't able to find a sleeve with the dimensions that I need, because those are like a special type of like bearing steel. I wasn't able to find one with the correct length. I'm kind of glad I ran into this hiccup though, because I think I'm able to do something a bit more simplistic and get rid of the needle bearings altogether. And that is by using what's referred to as an oil-like bushing. So it's basically a bronze bushing. It's a self-lubricating one. And basically I don't have to bother with these sleeves anymore. And I can have the shaft ride right on the bronze bushing. A lot of people do it. It's pretty common in the heavy machinery field, industrial type stuff. Some swing arms use it. There's a company called Atom for Performance Swing Arms. They make swing arms just like Evil. They look exactly the same or very similar, but they use bushings, the bronze bushings, instead of needle rollers, because it's a more economical cost thing, and then the simplicity. They're basically maintenance free, and then they work great. So by getting rid of these sleeves and the needle bearings, that allows me to get an even larger shaft in here, and a shaft that will dang near match what I got in the rear axle, which is a 20 millimeter. The shaft that will be going in the swing arm pivot though is a 750 thou shaft, which is a 3/4 inch shaft. So I got this from McMaster Car. This is a 750 thou round stock 4140. So I plan on having this slightly machined and then threaded. And yeah, this thing is beefy. Let me see if I can get the camera to focus. So yeah, I ordered this as round stock with the intentions of machining it. But let me get this off of here. So this is kind of the difference. Oh, sorry, it's a mess down here. I had to clean this stuff up, but this is the difference. This is like a stock shaft on the left right here. And then this is a 750 shaft right here on the right, which is the new pivot. So this will be quite an upgrade. Definitely looking forward to this. This is like right in the realm of what a lot of motorcycles run for a swing arm pivot shaft. I know the Panigale itself, the actual swing arm pivots are very close to this size, if not exactly this size. So this will give me a little bit of a warm fuzzy feeling knowing that this is up to par, because this does take a lot of load when you launch these bikes, and having a 12 millimeter puny shaft is that doesn't make me feel warm and fuzzy. So that'll be fun to upgrade to. This board does need to get this needs to get opened up quite a bit to house that, but I think I'll still have enough material thickness for the board that the shaft actually has to go through. But we'll cross that hurdle when we get there. So that's kind of the plan for everything right now. I'm gonna get my new plastics mounted up and try to get those measurements for the radiator, because I need to jump on that quick, because I want to have this thing ready by maybe like mid-April. I mean, ideally early April, but mid-April, that's kind of like my deadline. I want to have this thing ironed out before the season starts. I mean, because we've been having good weather. Like today, it was like 70 degrees up here in Michigan. But, being Michigan, it could be like 40 degrees tomorrow. So. But a lot of upgrades, guys. A lot of upgrades. Everything that was a weak link when I first brought the bike out, that's getting addressed now. So, but yeah, this should only make for a better bike, better product, and yeah, that's look forward to provide more updates for you guys. So if you haven't already, please subscribe. Please leave a comment, share, like, anything to help it get more exposure, because this is the one and only $11.99 Grom. But I appreciate you guys watching. You got any comments, questions, please feel free to leave them below. And yeah, until next time, guys. Peace.